Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And this is our last class before the finals. And also, we would like to invoke blessings upon all of you to be well, happy, and healthy, and also to be able to successfully uh, complete your mock exam. All right. Um, okay, Dr. Beth Jacobs, do you have to say something before we proceed?
Well, just that we want today to be useful for everyone, just to kind of go over everything. But please know that you've already absorbed so much, and you know it's not going to be so hard tomorrow. And it's been so enjoyable being together. So that's it for right now. Thanks.
Any questions from anyone? How is it going? How was your preparation?
I know mine's still in progress, but going okay.
Okay.
I know to prepare for the mock exam, I do definitely dedicate myself to it, but at the same time, I know it's okay if I don't do as well as I would do on the regular exam. So I try not to stress too much about it.
Hmm. So, what is the most challenging part?
Well, I think for me the challenging part is some things like I can remember a list of things to a degree, but to remember it effectively, I think I need to understand the definitions of some things, like the 17 steps of perception. Like I can remember the list, but then it kind of spins off into knowing a lot more because then you talk about Vivanga and you have to define that. And well, what is a rest Vivanga? What is vibrational Vivanga? What do they mean by determining those type of things? So then you kind of, I could see how it's easy during my studies to sort of bite off more than I can chew, and I need to sort of pull it back a lot. I guess that's Abhidhamma though.
Yeah, we also want to reiterate that some students were worried about the Pali terms and do we have to write the whole list or something? And also some were asking about the point form um, answers. Depending on the context, you don't necessarily have to um, complete the whole list, and also you're not required to write all the Pali terms. Of course, it's so much better if you can do it, and if you can do it, that's also, we don't want to really um, stress you so much on that. And so I also feel like maybe trying to work with the Quizlet maybe lessons can also be helpful and get the meaning, and as it is just an introductory course, so we really didn't want uh, you to go so much into the depth, but to have an overall understanding on the these concepts, I think would be really important. But we noticed that we we found you in many of you so much dedication and hard work, and also your enthusiasm in the class. Plus, we felt like it was way better than an introductory Abhidhamma class, right? uh, yes. So, what kind of strategies did you use? Do you like to share? Maybe the other people will also be benefited. Even we can be benefited. Kyle, what do you do for studying? How do you study?
Well, it's really interesting. If I take notes by hand, I I do it in like during class as things are being said, but then I never go back and look at my notes after I do that. But I know that psychologically there's a process of like how the movement itself helps get things into your head, but I'll never actually look back at my notes. Sometimes I might, and then I'll consolidate them, so make like a more refined list of those notes. But for this specifically, Beth's list was really helpful that she shared, kind of like reiterating over the things that we should try to focus on. So I tried to pick like 5 or 6 things from that were a little more familiar. I was already a little more familiar with, felt the connection to, and then throughout like the last week, I've just been trying to like fill those out and then try to read through those. And that's been my process so far for this class, is just, yeah, like going through those and trying to be able to put certain, uh, you know, I guess things into my own words as much as I can of what it means to me, as opposed to just like, it's kind of a lot to tackle to just say like, let me memorize, this entire list and be completely familiar with everything. More like, what did this mean to me in this instance, and how can I explain it to the best of my ability for what it meant for me? And I feel like, that's the most important, and hopefully I'll somehow be able to like squeeze that into whatever the questions are.
I want to say a couple of things about what you said, Kyle. One is I'm a big believer in handwriting and the kind of integration of that. But it's not for everyone. But that helps me a lot too. But also 2 things, like if you go with what you're kind of naturally drawn to, that always works, I think, because you sort of have an affinity to certain ways of looking at things or certain areas of the content, and that that will just make it easier. It's kind of like when you're making brownies and you start stirring it and things start sticking together, and the dry and the wet ingredients, this is where it starts sticking, is where it's interesting to you and where it resonates for you. And also the idea that in the end, if you can explain it like you were explaining it to somebody who doesn't know anything about the Abhidhamma, if you can do that, then you've really digested it. You don't want to get it to the level where you could explain it to a technical person, but you want to get it to the level where you could actually explain it to somebody from scratch. Then you're on it, I think. So those points were really, I wanted to just underscore a little.
I also am wondering, like in different cultures, different communities, and also in different age levels, people use different strategies, right? I would like to maybe for example, Corey, you are more tech savvy guy. What kind of strategies do you use?
Funny that you ask. I hate technology. So I do IT for a living. I stare at a monitor all the time. When I really, actually, if I'm going to be 100% honest, I struggle in class since it's been online, because I'm like, I am so tired of staring at a monitor. But I make it through. And what I normally do is I will type out everything. So during class, I handwrite all my notes. I don't type my I'll handwrite it because it helps commit it to memory a little bit better. But then when Beth like gave this outline, I'll hand type everything, and then I'll go back and I'll handwrite everything in my own words. So like the 5 aggregates, I'll just type that out as a list, but then I'll handwrite everything in an explanation. And for the mock exams, what I've done so far is just kind of try to commit everything to memory. But when it comes time for the finals, a few weeks before the finals, I'll handwrite the same essay multiple times, and that way it's committed to memory. And but I can't do it while typing. I mean, typing helps, but that's just muscle memory. That's not really committing anything to memory. I can smash the keys 90 words per minute and nothing sticks. But if I take the time to handwrite it, it forces me to slow down and be more concentrated on the words and the order of the words and what the words mean, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think do we not use like the eye, the object, and the hand coordination, right? And also the mind, like chaku vinyana, and also like all the rupa and the chaku vinyana and the chaku, and all these are actually coordinated when you write something. You hold the pen and you make some effort to write down and translate that idea into letters. That's a kind of process where you can actually remember things. When we were kids, we don't like to write. When we were kids, we like to repeat.
Mm-hmm.
But when we, I think, elders, we like to write more, because that gives more of an opportunity for us to remember, and also visualize certain things. Like maybe when we meditate, what kind of thoughts come to you, and can you write down? Can you recognize them? Can you mark them? And also maybe when you cook, when you drive, when you are angry, when you are happy, can you also recognize your thoughts? Maybe visually imagine your thoughts, and also translating this Abhidhamma theory into practice. All these things can be really helpful. um, yeah. Francesca, how do you study with your cat?
Well, when he's grumpy like this, ow, I don't get much work done. But when I give him everything he wants, well, he still does this. But this is like the toddler, the 18-month-old who gets mad before they go down for a nap. So I'm a wordsmith by trade. So taking the exams, trying to formulate answers, in a small, very small 3-hour window is difficult for me. So it's best if I can pull together some sentences in my head, phrases beforehand. I agonize over every word. So as we had Ajahn Jeffrey, Thanissaro Bhikkhu, in our study group, and I asked him about a particular word that he used, and it didn't convey what his thought was. And so I do look at every word, and that's may be part of my hang up, probably. But it's been a long time since being in classes and studying, and writing every class is essay questions. So we've gotten used to that. Our next class wants us to submit an outline for our first paper, and I have no idea how to do that, anymore. So it will be restate the question, brilliance in the middle, close it. So yeah, that's all. So I'm not spending too much time. I had a grumpy day on Tuesday thinking I don't know anything from this class. So some philosophy classes, I think you could get an A on the final exam if you just submit a blank piece of paper. They go, oh, you got everything. It's all emptiness, but I won't try that here. Not too helpful, I know.
How about Mr. Lee Patton? You're mute.
Yeah, I've only been using Zoom for what, 15 months, and I still forget to unmute myself. I take computer notes during the class. I would normally write them, but I find it when the laptop is in your lap, it's easier just to type them. So that's what I use, the computer notes, and then I'll go over Corey's recording of the classes and the Quizlet and that sort of thing to try and remember all this massive. I've had those Fran moments too. Oh my God, I don't know anything. Oh wait, what does that mean? I thought I knew this definition. But this has been a fun class, I'll tell you that. I really have learned a lot, and I find myself applying it. It seems like a lot, catching thoughts, and oh well, where is that in the 17 steps? It's really interesting.
Yeah, if I could say that this class helped me realize like how much torpor I have, how much mental laziness that I go through the Quizlet. The Quizlets are great. I think I have records on a majority of them, but I don't remember them. I can associate if I see the words, if I see them, I know them. But I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you the poly word in reverse. Like that's just on the matching game. Like I can, but if I were to take more time, more mental energy and mental effort, I would be better off. But I mean, I go through the Quizlets and I'm just like, I realize how much or how lack of effort I'm actually putting in mentally to committing stuff to memory when I'm going through the matching game. It's just like, I can do it on the flashcards. I can match things, but when I'm done, when I'm out of the program, I'm just like, wow, I really didn't put any effort into memorizing this stuff. So it's really helped me realize some of my shortcomings along the way.
I think the Quizlet has been designed in such a way, like you have many different activities, like the testing, also learning and writing and all that can put together, and that will really maybe go into your maybe short-term memory. You keep doing it, and then it can be translated into your long-term memory. Yeah, keep repeating can really help. Can be really helpful. I remember when we were young monks, we had to repeat. Repeating was the main weapon that we had. Venerable Ananda, the personal attendant of the Buddha, he didn't have to repeat. Like he had, like, if the Buddha said something once, he would be able to absorb everything. That's his paramita. That's why he is called Dhamma Bhandagarika, or the treasure trove of Dhamma. So, um, so there are people, like different people have different capacities to absorb. And also when you start studying something, you feel like you are going to your childhood days. Like you become young. That's really important also for your certain parts of your brain. You don't use it in due course of time, and when you go back to your study days, oh, those parts, like unused compartments of your brain, you start using again. That will be really helpful, and it's good for healthy brain waves too. Sherry, how do you study?
I generally write my notes by hand, and then to study, I go through my notes and I try to clarify them. I go back and listen to the video of the teachings if I need to again. And then I make out lists or cards with the major topics and study those.
Okay. So far so good.
I did find with the Quizlets, when you're doing the flashcards, if you keep flashing them faster, that you'll associate the two words
Mm-hmm.
as one word. That was helpful.
Okay. Mhm. I wish if we can use also a picture with the flashcard and the word. That also can be more helpful, right? Like, but maybe for some it'll be difficult. But I think that's also uh, something that we should be able to improve on that. Lisa Wong, how about you?
Um, I was using the slides, PowerPoint slides that you posted it, and that posted it notes to find the answers and trying to remember by repeating and writing it down. And because you were talking about Ananda's parami to memorize things so well, then I have a question on that. The parami that he has, I read about was because he was helping Buddha back then to provide him with the food. So he didn't have to spend his time to go around the villages. Then Buddha back then was able to memorize all the sutras. That's why when Buddha became a Buddha at that time, Ananda was able to memorize everything very well. Is that correct?
Buddha already accomplished before meeting Venerable Ananda as his disciple, right?
Mm.
Venerable Ananda became his personal attendant some years after. So by the time Buddha didn't have to do much, he has already done what he was supposed to do. And everyone in those 80 disciples, like what we say, Asiti Mahasavaka, 80 great disciples. And Venerable Ananda was one of them. Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Moggallana, Sivali, all of them had their own mission, their own paramitas. They wanted to achieve certain goals in their final liberation. So they were different. Like Venerable Ananda, you mean to say like he was also working on his memories?
No, my question was the paramita he had to give him such a great capacity to memorize things without repeating. It was because he was helping Buddha in one life, when Buddha back then was a monk, was like a novice monk, something like that, and got to go to the village to get his food. But by doing so, he got to spend so much time. Sometimes he spent too much of the time. So when he came back to the monastery, he didn't have enough time to memorize all the sutras. So one day, an elder got to know that and offered him, say, you don't have to go around into the village. I will provide you with the foods every single day, so you could save your time. And the elder who helped him was Ananda. That's what I read.
Uh, oh, that's an interesting story. Venerable Ananda, I think of course, he wanted to be the personal attendant of the Buddha, and also his Dhamma Bhandagarika thing, like his super power to memorize things, was not disturbing when he was attending the Buddha. He had a lot of things to do too. It is said like every single night he would go around the Gandhakuti, the Buddha's room, kuti, like 3 times with a lamp on his palm, just to make sure everything is said. That was his routine. And also, the Buddha said, like, if he had Venerable Ananda actually had some conditions before accepting the job. He said, when somebody invites the Buddha for a dana, special dana, something, I don't have to go there. Like he didn't want to take the kind of respect or honor or something to be accompanied with the Buddha. He didn't want that. He said, I would rather stay back and the Buddha can go. And if Buddha preaches some new Dhamma, also he wanted Buddha to preach it back to him so that he can remember. There were certain things, of course. I think Venerable Ananda's capacity, like memory, was different from others. Maybe there are some people like that, and no matter how much you try, they won't be able to remember. For example, Venerable Chullapantaka, in his story, it is said like for 4 months, he could not remember one stanza. He tried his level best to remember one stanza, he could not. Then his elder brother Mahapantaka said, "You cannot even remember one stanza for 4 months. You are not worthy of becoming a monk. You better leave the robe," he said. And he was just about to leave, and then Buddha gave him a clean cloth, a white cloth, and he asked him to actually wipe it, like rub it. And it is said like he was learning that through that process, how things are changing. The white cloth became dirty later on while he was doing it. And so his mind also became, he started opening up, and he started realizing, and kind of he could shackle uh, the I mean break the shackle, and he could become a powerful monk with that, they said. So people have different capacities.
But I was wondering, what did Ananda do in his previous lives to give him such a great power of memorization?
Hmm.
What
I
kind
think
of things to do?
uh, well, I think when we keep practicing and also maybe helping other people to study, for example, those things can be helpful, like helping other. And also he was always helping the Buddha, even in his Bodhisattva days. There were many cases where he accompanied the Bodhisattva in his Paramita days. And also he wanted to learn, maybe through his practice. um, I don't really remember if there was anything special that he did for his improving his memory, but it is said like when you help people who study, like when you offer something to some people, when to improve their like IQ or brain activity, or memory, or even teaching and learning the Dhamma, and all can be helpful tips for someone to improve the memory.
And then when I was going through all the slides, I was not able to find out where did you put on the 6 colors that radiated from the Buddha?
Mm.
That's from me. I don't, that might be just, I'm going to go over the list of lists. So I'll give them to you this afternoon, but I might not have written that down anywhere, at least. But we'll go over that. I know it's an obscure detail, but it's just one of my favorites, so I always throw it in. We'll go over it this afternoon.
And also there's one talking about the Chitta and Chittasikas. And then what are the 2 methods to view that?
Okay, I have a slide of everything on the list of lists, so we'll go over it. What I want to do this afternoon is go over it, and then with each list, we're just going to stop and say something it makes us realize, something it makes us see. So we take each list and pull it, but I have it all for you this afternoon. So don't worry.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Hello, Toshita, how are you? Are you ready to share your thoughts, how you study with the class? Okay.
He gave us a chat answer. He's his mic is malfunctioning, so he wants to talk in a little bit. He might sound like a chipmunk.
All right, good. So I'm actually going to my class. Okay, I would like to quickly go through some of the Quizlet just to brush up with some terms. Maybe we can also discuss something if needed, just to over here. Yeah, if someone found it helpful, I would actually, I should have added more to this list. Yeah, I should have done that. Maybe we start with some terms, maybe selected Pali terms. Let's say I want to go to the test right away. So neither perception, no non-perception. Someone can either say, maybe even write it in the chat, or you can say, or maybe even say something, maybe one sentence about that. If you want to briefly clarify that, that's also fine. But at least if we know what is this, neither perception, no non-perception. Do you recognize this? Or can I ask someone? In my list, I can see Corey on the top. Corey, what is neither perception nor non-perception?
I don't have an answer just yet. Are you looking for the Pali words, or are you looking for an explanation?
Maybe either one.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have gotten the Pali. I know it was one of the longer words.
Yeah, neva sanya na sanya, right?
I want to say in my notes, and I'm probably wrong, but that I have it as perfect equanimity, but I feel like I'm off on that.
Sherry, do you know?
It's one of the jhanas. There's the 4 higher jhanas, there's, it's the third of the higher jhanas. If you count 8 jhanas, they're the first 4, and then the second set of the higher 4, I think it's the third one. Is that right?
It is the last one, I guess.
The last one, okay.
Yeah.
So consciousness and nothingness come before.
Mm-hmm.
Neither perception or no perception, okay.
Yeah. Akasanan chayatana, vijnana chayatana, akincanyayatana, and neva sanyana sanyayatana. That is the last one. Okay. How about unwholesome? What is the Pali word for unwholesome?
Akusala.
Okay.
Everybody knows that one.
Yeah. What is akusala? Can you say something? How many akusalas are there? How many akusala chittas are there? What is manifestation?
There's 12 unwholesome.
Yes, 12 unwholesome, right? 8 lobha, 2 dosa, and 2 moha. 12 akusala chittas.
Could I pause and ask what makes something unwholesome?
Hmm.
The 3 roots.
And also just don't forget like that it just, you know, to bubble up to the surface here that it's unwholesome if it doesn't produce, you know, good outcomes and beneficial things for yourself and others. And if it doesn't help kind of make the mind more directed and clear.
See, this is where I'm like failing, because I was going to say something along those lines, and I'm like, no, that's too obvious. And now I'm starting to doubt myself.
Well, I don't feel like you can ever be too obvious, you know, state the obvious is good because it makes you be very clear when you state the obvious. So I just did want to bring it to the obvious level also, because that's what we walk around in, that level. Okay, thanks.
About manifestation, what is manifestation? What is the Pali word for that?
Pachapatana.
Yeah. Did you say something?
Pachapatana.
Maybe I was not sure. It is the selected Pali terms. Oh, Pachupattana you said, right? Pachupattana. Okay. What is Pachupattana? Can you explain a little bit?
The best I can do with that is something that is brought forth. Something, it's not that it, does it arise or just present itself? So I guess that's the same thing.
Yeah. Pachupattana and Padattana, they are also kind of supportive conditions.
experience.
Dr. Jacobs, do you like to say something?
I'm going to just build on what Francesca said, and it's how it arises in experience, the manifestation, you know, is a kind of in conditioned experience.
Okay. Infinite consciousness. Now, even if you can recognize the list, maybe the number of the list, or even a Pali word, you can all contribute, maybe say something about that. Infinite consciousness.
Isn't the second level of the immaterial jhana?
Mm-hmm. Consciousness, we know the word consciousness, right?
Mm.
So we were working on this neva sanya na sanyayatana, neither perception nor non-perception. That is the eighth jhana, the second level, like the last one, and this one also belonged to that, if you remember.
That's the one right after the infinite space.
Yes, yes. So what is the Pali word? Consciousness. Do you remember the word for
Chitta.
consciousness? Vijnana.
Avinyana.
Yeah. Vijnanam chayatana. Vijnanam chayatana. Yes. So infinite consciousness. What is this samadhi about? They are also called samapatti. In fact, the two teachers that the Bodhisattva met before his enlightenment, and Alara Kalama Uddaka Ramaputta. Alara Kalama was in a position to achieve these jhanas. But the Uddaka Ramaputta, the late second one, he was also able to go up to this level, Neva Sanyana Sanyayatana. Neither perception nor non-perception, it is said.
We continue work out.
So this is the infinite consciousness. Initial application, where do you find it?
It's vitaka. It's
Yes, very
as
good.
in striking of a bell.
Okay. Vitaka, that's right. Initial application.
And it goes with vichara, the sustained.
Yeah, sustained application, right? I think Venerable Tanisaro uses a different term than Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi. So they use different translations, yes. So where do you find it? What list do you find this? Five jhanic factors, right? Yeah. Do you remember the other four? Vitakka, Vichara, Sloth and Torpor, Thina Midda, and then Vitakka, Vichara, Piti Sukha, sorry, Piti. Piti is the joy or rapture. And Piti Sukha. What is the word that we used here for Sukha, Dr. Jacob?
I think we went with happiness for
Happiness, okay. So Piti is rapture, right? Rapture and happiness, Sukha. And what is the last one? Vitakka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, and Ekagata. One pointedness, right? Yeah. So initial application. Okay, let's go to matching questions. Proficiency. What is proficiency?
Is it Pagunata?
Pagunyata. Pagunyata, yes. Pagunyata. What is that? Where do you find it? Oh, I think we have to add the number only, right?
Yeah, it just wants the letter.
Okay, yeah, okay. So now it's easier. Tell me the letter here. Rectitude. Rectitude.
Is it C,
C.
Ujjakata?
Yes. Yes. Ujjukata. Ujju means straight. Pagunya means proficiency, like you are more well versed in something. Pagunyata. Okay, number 3.
Is that Kamanata?
Kamanyata.
A.
Number 4, proximate cause.
Padatana?
Padatthana. Okay. And Pasadhi is tranquility. That is E. Okay. And then multiple choice questions. Now we can recognize sense sphere. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one? Sense sphere.
Kamavachara.
Kamavachara. Yes. Kama is sense. Kamavachara means engaged in the kamas. So Arupavachara is engaged with the formless. And Kamanyata, as we learned already here, it is the wilderness. And then Tadarammana. Next one is resultant. Javana, Vedana, Vipaka, Vitakka.
Is it Vipaka?
Yes, Vipaka. What is Javana? I think the first day onward we were talking about Javana.
There's a whole bunch of them in the 17 steps of the eye process. I know that.
Vedana. What is Vedana? How many Vedanas are there? Vedana is, yes, 3. Feeling, right? Sukha Vedana, happy feeling. Dukkha Vedana, sad feeling. And Upekka, oh, Adukha Masukha also it is said. Like in between, neutral. Yeah. Vitakka is initial application or applied thought. Okay, lightness.
Lahuta.
Lahuta, yes. What is that? What is Lahuta? Where do you find it? I think in, yes?
6 pairs.
6 P's?
Mm,
Yeah.
right? The tranquility, lightness, proficiency, rectitude,
Mm-hmm.
and wieldiness. And those are 6 pairs.
Yes.
I want to say something here because you also hear Lahuta with material processes. So it's a positive mental factor, and it is also material processes, which I just think is an interesting example of how many qualities move through Nama Rupa. So you see it in both.
Positive.
Nice. And here, receiving.
The last one.
Yes, sampatichana. Sampatichana is receiving. What is santirana?
Investigation.
Investigation. Yes, it is santirana also means like taking decision. Tirana means decision. So investigation. Santirana. Pachupattana we already found before. What is Pachupattana? Just to Pachupattana. I think that is the first word we found here. Pachupattana and Padattana. Oh no, not the first one. What we found it.
Manifestation.
Yeah, manifestation. Padattana also we have. Yeah, Pachupattana and Padattana. Okay, root.
Mula,
Mula. How many roots are there?
3.
3? 3 or 6?
6. There's the wholesome and
Yeah.
unwholesome variants.
Yes. Wholesome and unwholesome, right? Lobha dosa moha, alobha adosa amoha. Even if you remember the Pali one, so English one, that is fine. Kusala. This is wholesome, right? Piti is
Joy,
joy. And moha,
delusion. I'm
delusion,
sorry.
ignorance, and many words can be there. Okay. And over here, it's root. And true or false? Greed, lobha.
True.
Okay. Infinite space, arupavachara. Infinite space. We found it before.
False.
Arupavachara. False. Yes. Arupavachara is formless, right? Infinite space is akasananchayatana. Perception, sanya. That's true, right? Delusion, moha.
True.
Yes. Volition, vedana. False. Yes. Okay. So that's about those words. And yeah, I hope that helped a little bit. Maybe we can go to the next list. 28 rupas. Okay, we'll go to the test. Ear.
Sota.
Sota. Okay. Can you see the list? No? Oh, okay. I think I have to go from here then. 20. Can you see it now? Okay. Heart base. Is this 28 rupees? Heart base.
Hadaya?
Hadaya. Hadaya That Hadaya Vattu? Hadaya Vattu, right? Sound.
I think you have Hadaya Vatu as 2 words on the flashcard, though.
Okay. Thank you. Sound. Yes. Chakku Sota Gana Juha Kaya Mana. Which one?
Sada.
Sadda, yeah. Chakku Sadda is
D8.
sound is Sota is the ear. And heat or hotness.
Is it Taiju? That's a fire.
What is it?
Tejo? Is that what
Teja.
you were saying?
Yeah. Tejo. I.
Chaku.
Chakku. Okay. Color.
Vana.
One.
Wana. Wana.
One. Tangibility or sap.
Matching.
A, B, C, D.
C.
Hotapa.
Oh,
Pataba.
yeah, Pataba.
Okay. Great elements.
E.
Yes. Abstract form. Abstract form.
B, Anipahana Rupa.
Anippannarupa. And concretely produced.
Nippana.
Oh, it is the other one. Yes. A. Form produced by Kamma mind.
Mm.
And that is,
D.
yes, Nippana. And here, feminine. Purisa, Juha, Santati, Ithi.
Iti.
Yes. Continuity. Muduta, Anichata, Lahuta, Santati.
Santati.
Santati. Stiffness. Kammanyata, Gochara Rupa, Anichata, Mahabhuta.
Gochara Rupa. No?
Stiffness, I think.
Kamanata.
Yeah, first one. Yeah. Body.
Kaya.
Kaya, Vanna, Kaya, Rasa, Ghana. Communicating through word. Vachi Vinyati, Vinyati Rupa, Jivitindriya,
Vachi
Kaya
Nati.
Achi Vinyati. Yeah.
Vinyati. Yes. True, false. First arising, Anichata.
False.
Okay. Nutriment, Oja.
True.
Yes.
I always
Like
think of
that.
OJ, like orange juice, which is
Okay.
nutritious.
Yes. That's why, like, you need to think that way. I think kind of visualize. Lightness, Muduta.
False.
Huh?
Mudata is not lightness. It's false.
What is Muduta then?
Don't know. Uh,
Muduta is here lightness, I guess.
yeah. Lahuta is lightness.
Oh, lightness, Lahuta. So Muduta is
Mudata, I don't know, but I know that Lahuta is
sympathetic
lightness.
joy. I know in there sympathetic joy also is a word that we use. Let me see. Lahuta. Oh, elasticity. Muduta. Yeah. Lightness. And sense fields, Pasada Rupa. Pasada Rupa. True or false?
False.
And luck. Lakkhana Rupa. Qualities of form. That is true, right?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Just yeah. Okay, that's about the 28 rupas, and I will go through the vocabulary list of universal beauties. And over here, lightness of mind. Lightness of mind. Yeah, that is also something to do with lahuta. Mind is chitta, right?
Yeah, Chitta Lahuta.
Yeah, chitta lahuta. So it's the next one is
Kaya Lahuta.
Kaya Lahuta.
kaya lahuta. And faith,
Saddha.
saddha. And remember, saddha is sound, saddha is faith. Shame of doing wrong.
Otapa? Or is
Uh,
that fear of doing wrong?
yes, that is, this one is hiri.
Yeah. Those are very close words.
Yeah, yeah. Hiri and ottappa. Tranquility, they actually go together. Hiri and ottappa. They are also called world controlling factors. Hiri and ottappa. Tranquility of body.
Kaya pasadi.
Kaya pasadi. And matching here, non-delusion.
Amoha,
Amoha, yes. Non-greed.
adosa. I'm sorry, alobha, right?
Alobha, that is two, right? B.
Mhm.
Delusion.
E. Wait,
E?
greed, anger, delusion. I'm sorry.
Delusion, wait.
B. Oh, no.
So non-greed is not B, right? Non-greed is
A.
non-greed.
I'm sorry, agreed. Alobha,
Yes, C.
yeah.
And delusion,
Is B.
B, moha.
Amoha.
And greed,
E.
lobha, lobha. Okay, non-hatred,
Adosa, yeah.
adosa. Okay, now rectitude of mind. Now we know mind, but we have several mind here. So rectitude, straight, uju, chittujukata here. So that is rectitude. Malleability of mind.
Cheetah something. So Cheetah mudata.
Malleability of mind. Chitta muduta. Chitta muduta. Okay. Hatred. Moha, lobha, dosa, adoha.
Dosa,
Okay, dosa. Fear of doing wrong.
Hiri.
Hiri. No, hiri is shame.
Oh yeah.
otapa,
Ottappa, yes. Wieldiness of mind.
Cheetah.
amanata.
Yeah.
Chitta kammanyata.
Please say that again.
Chitta kammanyata. Chitta kammanyata. Kammanyata is Yeah. Um, and next one, proficiency of body. Chitta pagunyata.
False.
False, yes. Cannot be. Chitta pagunyata, proficiency of mind.
True.
Wieldiness of body.
True.
Kaya kammanyata. Universal beautiful factor. Sobhana sadharana. Sobhana sadharana. True, right?
Mhm.
Rectitude of body.
False.
Yes. So it should be kayujugata. Okay. And okay, next one. Is this? Not falling. That is, yeah, not falling. This is aviha. Aviha. Okay. Infinite consciousness. We learned it before.
Sudasa.
Infinite consciousness.
Sudasa.
Yeah. Okay. Sudasa. Brahma's retinue.
Rama something.
Brahma.
Got 50%.
Yes. Brahma. Brahma's retinue. Brahma parisajya. Parisa is like retinue or group. So Brahma's retinue. Brahma parisajya. And God's death. Gods of death.
Yama.
Yama. Yes. Oh, Yama. Action. Action.
Kama.
Karma. Action is karma. Okay. Infinite luster. Appamanabha. Kamavachara. Tirachhana. Vipassana. Abhasara.
A.
A. Radiant luster.
E.
E. Yes. Animal kingdom. Animal kingdom. C. Right? Tirachhana. Sensuous.
B.
B. Kamavachara. Insight.
D.
D. It is the most popular one. Neither perception nor non-perception. Parittabha, Nimanarati, Mahabrahma, Akanitaka. So this is little bit different from what we learned before, but these are kind of devas and brahmas. So when you attain this jhana, you will be born in that Brahma realm. What realm is that? Like when Uddaka Putta, right? Neither perception nor non-perception. So he had this. This is the last Brahma realm, Akanitaka. Akanitaka Brahma realm. Unhappy planes, Apaya Bhumi, Rupavachara Bhumi, Asanya Satta and Mahabrahma.
Apaya
Unhappy
Bhumi.
planes,
Apaya Bhumi.
Apaya Bhumi. Yes, yes. Great reward. So here, phala is fruit. Vehaphala is grapefruit or great reward. Subha Kinhaka and Sudhavasa and Mahabrahma. So it is the first one, right? Demigods,
Sura.
Asura, yes. Infinite space, something to do with sky. Akasananchayatana. Apamana Subha Akinchanyayatana and Vinyananchayatana. Modes of rebirth, Patisandhi. Modes of rebirth. Can we say Patisandhi? Rebirth is something to do with Patisandhi, right?
Yes.
It's true. And 33 gods, Tava Tinsa.
True.
True.
Yeah, the Tinsa is 30. Advent of death,
True.
Marana. Yes. Minor aura. Minor aura.
False.
False. What is minor aura?
Parita something, but I was going based off of the fact that it was mana something, which is not it at all.
Paritta Subha.
Yeah.
Minor aura, Paritta Subha. This is false. Material planes, Rupavachara Bhumi.
True.
Huh?
True.
Okay.
Uh,
Rupavachara Bhumi. Yes, it is true. So material planes. Okay. We go to the next. Almost done. This one. Okay. 1/3 of an eon. And it's a kind of tricky question. One-third of an eon. So the question goes here with the I think that is number 2, right? Yes. That is the lifespan of the Brahmas. And this is the Brahma Parisaja. And they are great eon is the Devas, the Brahmas that have that lifespan. I think it is really kind of difficult one. Mahakappa. Maha is great and Kappa is eon. 16,000 eons. What is the lifespan of 16,000 eons? And that is the highest gods. What about 50 human years just next to our human realm? Those they were one day there is 50 human years. What is that? What day of a world is that? That is actually one celestial day. One celestial day in the Chatu Maharajika world. 500 eons. 500 eons is great reward and mindless beings. Their lifespan is 500 eons.
Yeah.
Great reward and mindless beings. Okay. Matching questions. 4 eons. Infinite Asura. Oh, this one is infinite aura. Okay. Infinite luster.
Infinite B.
Yeah.
B.
B.
Yes.
Infinite luster. 32 eons.
Infinite aura.
32 eons. Infinite aura.
A.
And 20,000 eons.
20,000. Infinite space.
20,000 eons.
Infinite space.
Space. Okay. 60,000 eons.
Nothingness.
Nothingness. And even more than that is the neither perception nor non-perception. That is 84,000 eons.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. Nothingness also is not nothing. Oh, this is done D, right? And 40,000 eons.
40,000 infinite consciousness.
Yeah. Okay. So incalculable period. One celestial day, Asankheya Kappa, Brahma Parisajya, Antara Kappa. So one celestial
Ankheya
day,
Kappa.
like 50 years. Asankheya Kappa, right? Incalculable. Sankhya
Yeah.
is number.
Asankhya.
Asankheya is no number.
Yes.
And Brahma Parisajya, Brahma retinue. And Antara Kappa. Antara Kappa is also said like a space between two Buddhas. That is also called Antara Kappa. 2,000 eons.
Serene God.
Serene gods. Okay. And great award, reward, and mindless beings, highest gods, durable gods. Okay. Interim period. We just learned it. Interim.
Infinite.
Antara. Right? In between. Antara Kappa. 1 eon. 1 eon. Mahabrahma. Lifespan is 1 eon. We know more Brahma like up to 84 is just, and Mahabrahma also first
Yeah.
stage.
Bhante, we are losing connection
Half
with
an
you
eon.
for a bit. We've lost connection with you.
Break. Take break.
You cannot see?
Yes.
Yeah, we could see you, but you froze up a little. We couldn't hear you for a minute. I
Oh,
think
I'm
you're
sorry.
good. You're good now, though.
Okay, thank you. So this is, let me go back.
Near and near.
Half an eon.
Ministers. Realm
Yeah.
of Brahma's ministers.
Brahmas, ministers, yes. Purohita is like the counselor of the king. You know, when there was a regular post those days, so they were called Purohita. So Brahma Purohita is like Brahma's ministers. True or false? 4,000 neons, highest gods.
I had to unplug all this stuff.
Yes.
Or I mean, undo all that stuff. Here's your card, by the way.
4,000 years
False.
is false. Like 4,000 years is beautiful
Infinite.
God.
Infinite consciousness, isn't it?
Which one?
Infinite consciousness.
Oh, this one is false. 84,000. This is the last one. Remember?
False.
84,000. This is realm of neither perception nor non-perception. And 2 eons, infinite
True.
luster. Yeah. Remember 1 eon? Infinite luster is not 2 eons. It is minor luster. Right? Mahakappa. Eon Mahakappa, is that correct? It is also false, right? Kappa is eon. Mahakappa, I think it is, let me check. Kappa is eon. Yeah, Mahakappa is great eon. So Kappa is eon. 8 eons. 8 eons.
That one's false.
Yes. Who is 8 eons?
Radiant gods?
Radiant? Clear-sighted gods, right? 8,000. Oh, sorry. Yeah. It is radiant. Yeah, right. Radiant gods. 8,000 is clear-sighted. Okay. Just again, the last one. Okay, this is more about the karma and stuff. Okay. Over here, death proximate, close to the death. What is that karma? That is close to the death. Close to the death. Like if you don't have um, a karma like unpardonable sins or jhana, you know, and this proximate death can be helpful for your patisandhi, next birth.
Asana.
Asana. Asana. Vain talk. Like there are 4 different kinds of talks. One is telling lies or false speech. Then second is like harsh words, and then also slandering. And the other one is vain talk. Musawada, Pisunavacha, Parusavacha, and this is Sampappalapa. Let me see if we have that. Yeah, Sampappalapa. Immoral karma.
Akusala.
Akusala. Immoral karma. Akusala. Unwholesome. Harsh speech. Harsh. 4 kinds of verbal karma.
Parusa vacha.
Parusa.
Parusa vacha.
Yes, parusa vacha. Ill will.
Vyapada.
Vyapada. Vyapada. Ill will. Vyapada. Reproductive karma. Upatthambaka karma is the karma that helps you sustain in this life.
Janaka.
Janaka karma is the karma that helps you at the beginning, right?
Reproductive karma is Janaka.
Yeah, so that is B, right?
B.
Okay, reserve karma.
Tata.
Yes?
D.
Yes, katatta karma is the karma
Katata.
that you carry from your samsara. Katatta karma, reserve karma, it is in your reserve. Reverence.
E.
Yes, reverence, like you you respect elders and worthy ones. Destructive karma.
Supported.
Destructive karma.
Destructive. Upagataka.
Upaghataka karma. That karma will be the one that actually destroy your, maybe if you have a very healthy or very happy lifestyle, it can be changed right away, maybe like a rich person becoming a homeless person, or even the other way around, like a homeless person winning a lottery. you know what do you call those big lotteries, like millions? So that can be also upaghataka. And supportive karma.
Upatambaka.
Pathambaka karma. Pathambaka karma. Okay, multiple choice. Indefinitely effective karma.
Aparapariya
Aparapariya.
Vidania.
Yes, aparapariya vedaniya karma. Those karmas will be there from your samsara. It is said like when you do one karma, like ditta dhamma vedaniya is the karma that you have the result in this birth, and aparapariya vedaniya, upapajja vedaniya is the one that helps you in the other second birth, and then aparapariya vedaniya will be there until you finally liberate. So this karma, good or bad, will be there with you too. So there are different levels of karma. So this is aparapariya. Obstructive karma. Janaka, upapilaka, apachayana,
Upapilaka.
upapilaka, yes. Pilaka is like suppressing or something. Janaka is
Support.
the
Reproductive.
birth, reproductive. Yeah. Apachayana is like reverence. Upathambaka is supportive. Right. And Vetli karma, Garuka
Garuka.
karma. Yes, Garuka, like Anantariya Papa karma, 5 great sins. If you talk about the Garuka Akosala karma, like do you remember the 5?
Killing parent. Killing
Killing
parents.
killing
Killing
mother,
Arahan.
killing mother, killing father, killing Arahant, 3 already. 2 more.
And shedding the Buddha's shedding the blood of the
Blood.
Buddha.
Yes,
causing dissension in the Sangha.
yes, yes, schism, creating schism among the Sangha. That's another one. And what are the kusala garuka karma? Yeah, jahanas. Yeah, jahanas would be the kusala garuka karma. If you have jhana, you will also be definitely born in a better Brahma realm because of that. And if you have done some wrong, like 5 anantariya papa karma, you will be born in the hell realm. So they are called garuka karma. What is ahosi karma?
Who's the defunct karma?
Yes, defunct karma. Can you give me an example?
Defunct. Is it a change of the karma?
Defunct. For example, what happened to Angulimala? You know, because Angulimala did so many akosala karmas, but after achieving arhanthood, and only this birth, only for this birth he had ditta dhamma vedaniya, certain dhamma that will be, certain karma that will be effective in his birth here. But after his death, everything becomes defunct.
Oh, cancelled out.
Yeah, all cancelled, got cancelled. Akusala katatta. What is katatta?
Reserved.
Reserved karma.
So
Yeah. So that karma is from your previous sansara. Immediately effective karma. Ditta dhamma vedaniya, dittiju karma, aparaparya vedaniya, and upapajya vedaniya. Ditta dhamma vedaniya.
Yeah, first one.
Yeah, something that that will happen to you right here, right now, in this birth itself. Like when you get angry, do you see the ditta dhamma vedaniya karma? How do you see that? How do you experience ditta dhamma vedaniya karma when you are angry? Like you getting like maybe headache, or you get like heart stroke or something. Those things also can happen to some people. Yeah, ditta dhamma vedaniya karma is something that happens to you right away in this birth itself. And some people like maybe like butchers, you know, it is said the sukara Chunda Sukarika was dying like a pig, crying like a pig in his last few days. So that is said ditta dhamma vedaniya karma. So when you do something good, you will also get the result. Certain karma, a portion of the karma will be effective in this birth itself. Dittiju karma, what is that? This is one of the 10 wholesome deeds. Dittiju karma. Ditti is view. Uju is straightening. So
right
like,
view.
yeah, right view. So aparapariya vedaniya karma, what is that? The karma that can be effective throughout the rest of the sansara. Aparapariya vedaniya. Upapajya
Indefinitely.
yeah, indefinitely. What about upapajya vedaniya?
Subsequently.
Yes, immediately after this upapajya in the second birth. Okay, so here it is ditta dhamma vedani. What about verbal action? Kaya, vachi, bharusa vacha, adinnadana.
Vachikama.
What is kaya karma?
body.
Yes. Parusa vacha, what is that?
Parusa.
Harsh words, right?
Oh.
Adinna dana. Adinna dana. Adinna is not given. Adana is taking. Taking things not given. Stealing.
Steal.
Yes. Okay. Covetousness. Abhijja.
True.
True. Yes. Okay. And stealing. Adinna dana.
True.
True. Sexual misconduct. Kamesu michachara. Okay. Moral karma pertaining to the arupa plane. Arupa vachara kusala karma.
True.
Okay. Habitual karma. That's an interesting.
False.
False. What is habitual karma?
Mm,
China.
Achin. So like if you have garuka karma, that karma will be effective immediately after your death. And if you don't have it, the asana karma, the proximate karma will be there. And if you don't have it, then the achinna karma, habitual karma will be there. And then if you don't have that also, the katatta karma, the reserve karma will be there. So they are kind of layers, different levels of karma that can be affected. Okay. Okay.
Do we want to take a 10-minute break?
Yes, please. I think that's a very good time.
do with the consciousness, and tejas has something to do with the karma.
Tejo is something to do with the karma.
I think it's on your slide that you said that.
Okay, okay. Hello, welcome back. um, so before starting, Dr. Beth, do you have to say something?
No, I'm okay. Seems like this is a good way to kind of just bring back, bring it back up in our minds.
Okay.
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. I would like to actually respond to the two questions that Kylie and Lisa asked in the Slack. So Kyle asked the question, Prithvi Dhatu. It is the right Pali for the four elements. Prithvi is not Pali. Okay, Pathavi is the Pali. So Pathavi Dhatu, solidity or attraction. This shows something together. You feel this is tightness, pressure in the body. So Pathavi Dhatu, in our body, we can see everything together. For example, our teeth, our bones, and our hair, and all these things have like solid things and holding together. That is called Pathavi Dhatu. Apo Dhatu is the liquidity or relative motion. So Apo is, yes, Apo Dhatu is in our body. We have like tear and also the blood and urine and things that are liquid uh, form, they are called apo dhatu. In fact, in our body, I think there is a sizable percentage in our body that is apo. Does anyone know, like, how many, like, what is the percentage of the body?
I thought it was a 70%.
70% water?
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah. In the earth also, like one third, right? One third of the earth is covered with the water, and in our body, so looks like it is the same, like 70-75. Tejo dhatu is heat or energy, body temperature, vibrations in the body you feel in meditation, difference of temperature in and out meditation. So, in response to Lisa's question too, um, like heat is a very important thing for mankind also. They, when they found fire, it changed the whole course of a man's history, and they could produce many weapons, and they could do so many things due to this. So heat for our body also is really important. In Dhammapada there is a stanza, Ayu usmacha vinyanang yada kayang jahantimang apaviddo tada seti nirathang kalingarang. So Ayu is the life, and Usma is the heat, and Vijnana is the consciousness. And these three things are connected to the body. And when they leave the body will just fall down on the floor, just like a bundle of wood. Uh, so Teja is really helpful for keeping the body live, and uh, it's very important. Like if you don't have Tejo Dhatu, your body will get start declining, and your muscles will also start declining. Everything about the body, this whole atmosphere of the body will change if you have the Tejo Dhatu change, and you get temperature, high fever or something. Also, if there is any imbalance of our heat energy. So heat element is a very important thing, and also for food, to digest the food, heat is very very important. We know we use fire to cook food. Just like that, we need the fire in this fire element or heat energy or heat element in the body to absorb the nutriment to the body. Vaya dhatu, expansion or repulsive forces. Vaya is air. So air is also important um, to bring all the important things in the body, like to here and there. There are something called Uddhangama Vayu, like certain things have to be pushed up, that is called Uddhangama. And Adhogama is certain things have to be pushed down to bring certain things to different parts of the body. So they are called Adhogama Vayu. So in our body we have different holes that we use to carry in and out our the air from outside. We bring air, and then also we remove the air. So for example, breathing is definitely something to do with the air. So when we breathe in, we bring that energy, the oxygen, all the positive energy or negative energy, whatever. Like if there is pollution, we bring actually negative energy. Or if you have a smell, also good or bad smell can change the mood um, in our body. So vayu or air element is again very important. Of course, if you don't breathe, if you stop breathing, the body again cannot survive. Body heat will also go down, and eventually it will become cold, and so the body cannot survive. So all these Pathavi, Apa, Teja, and Vayu elements are really, really important for the body. And is that clear to you, Lisa, now?
No, my question was about on your slide, you
Hmm.
said for Vayo, it
Hmm.
is inseparably connected with the heat element of motion.
Yeah.
So how do you connect these two? And then you also say motion and heat in the
Yeah.
material realm correspond to consciousness and karma in the material form.
Yeah, certain like even these four elements, they are separate. They also coexist with each other. Um, like uh, like the way you said, exactly like the way you said, how this body, even the heat and cold, they live together, right? So that is also part of um, Tejo, in fact. So heat and cold can live together, and then the fire element again is coexisting with other elements. Um, I think it is there in the I don't remember the page number exactly, but in Abhidhamma Sangha, these things are well explained. Let me check if I can find.
What I was trying to ask was, I know that all these four elements cannot be separate from each other.
Hmm.
But why on your slide you specifically put it down Vayu is inseparably connected with the heat element of motion, but you didn't do that for the other three elements.
I see.
So I don't know what's the connection between Vayu and heat.
I see. Let me. Why and heat. Is this the last class we talked about, or
Uh,
the one before?
April 3rd.
April 3rd. Maybe that should be the other one. Maybe I didn't mention about the other elements, but they also actually help, help each other. It's not only this heat and vayu. Okay, I think you hear Patavi, Apo, Tejo, vayu. These yeah, they are also something to do with different temperaments, and oh, I don't find it here too. Yeah, I'll address that issue. Okay,
Okay.
share that information in our Slack so everyone can see that.
And also why I said the motion has something to do with the consciousness and the heat has something to do with the karma in the material. That's on
Motion,
your slide.
um, like you mentioned here in the 28 rupas, is you have shown a screenshot.
Mm.
Element of space, bodily intimation, and vocal intimation, material lightness, softness, adaptability, material. Where do I find that here? It's I see a screenshot here. Okay. Yeah, I actually should have had a look before this. I'll get back to you both. Okay. And
Okay.
yeah. So what is it again? The question about
It is also not on this slide. There's not the slides on the April 3rd. You're talking about while.
okay.
And then you say motion and heat in the material realm correspond respectively to consciousness and karma in the material.
Okay. I will get back to that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Um, okay. Any other question or concerns? Dr. Jacobs, do you have an answer to Lisa's question?
I have a place to look, but I would need to study also. I'm more familiar with the Bhikkhu Bodhi translation. So in that comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma, there's a big chart on 262 and 263, which shows the groupings of the material phenomena. So I feel like Lisa's referring to some specific groupings of material phenomena there that you probably gave us an example there. So I don't specifically get, exactly what that example is, but that's where I would be looking.
Okay.
262 to 263. It's called the 28 material phenomena by classifications and groupings.
Also, to something to do with the Mahabhuta, right? Because she's asking about Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. Yeah, we will discuss about that. I
Yeah.
will get back to you in between.
Yeah, we could talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I didn't check that question before. I should have come prepared for that. Okay. Okay.
I have one more question.
Yes.
I think you mentioned about the book, The Great Disciples of the Buddha. It has so many stories of each Buddhist, all the great disciples for many, many lives. But they all are saying that all those cannot be verified. Do we still believe what we read in the book?
About these 80 disciples?
Yeah, all the great disciples in the book called The Great Disciples of the
In
Buddha.
Anguttara Nikaya Ekaka Nipata, we have this information. Okay, and also the Atthakatha definitely has more information. Let me go to, for example, Sutta Central, and I show you an example. Okay, let me share it. Okay, this is Sutta Central, and over here, if we go to the suttas, Anguttara Nikaya. See if I can find. Okay. Anguttara Nikaya. Ekaka Nipata. Sutta Pitaka. Anguttara Nikaya. Ekaka Nipata. Okay. Over here, I can easily find it actually here in Sutta Pitaka. Ekaka Nipata. So the Buddha says here there are Etadagavak, right? Etadavak. Over here, Etadaggam Bhikkave Mama Savakanam Bhikkунang Rattanyunang Yadidang Anyasi Kondanyo. So Venerable Anya Kondanya is the one foremost among the um, the monks who are like live long or like Chiraratragna. Anya, he became Anya Kondanya because of that. And then same thing goes to Venerable Sariputta Mahapanyanang Yadidang Sariputta. Sariputta is foremost among the wise monks. And then Iddimantanang Yadidam Mahamoggallana. Venerable Moggallana is the foremost among the Iddhis, like what do you call those mystic powers. And Dutavadanang Yadidam Mahakassapa. Venerable Mahakassapa is foremost among the Dutanga. Dibba Chakku Kanang Yadidang Anuruddha. Venerable Anuruddha is foremost among Dibba Chakku, the divine eyes. So different monks have Dhamma Katikanang Mantani Puttos. So different monks have different titles given here in the Anguttara Nikaya, Etadaggavagga. This is called, yes, Etadaggavagga, that is Ekaka Nipata Etadaggavagga. Let me share it in the chat. Anguttara Nikaya Ekaka Nipata Etadagga. This is the reference. You can have.
Ante, are we looking at Pali script?
Yes, I was trying to find the Pali text for Sutta Center.
It's really, really beautiful.
But we don't understand.
Yeah, you mean I was showing the Sinhala one, right? Did I share with you that one? So it's easier for me. We also have a Sinhala when I just go to that Sinhala script, which I find is more, easier. Like if I want to go to this one, where is that? Yeah, so I can easily go to go to this and find it. Let me show you. I don't know why it like the Sutta Central also has changed their format. Sometimes I'm confused how to because they update and I get more confused. So over here, if we go to in the Tipitaka, Pitaka.lk, I know it is weird to you, but I can easily go to Sutta Pitaka, Abhidhamma Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka. Actually, more Sutta Pitaka here. So Diga Nikaya and then Majjhima Nikaya, and I can go easily to any of this. and yeah, Kuddaka Nikaya, all the books are also there. I mean, this is a little helpful to me. Where is that? In the Sutta Center, they have changed the format now. Like, where do you find the Tipitaka? Like, this is the use, this is the introduction. Yeah, I think they have, I have to learn a little bit more now. Sorry about that. Okay. And I would like to share, I mean, with this question also may be helpful. This is again a question asked by Lisa regarding the different stories. Stories told in the class. A frog was reborn in heaven. It is called Manduka. Okay. Um, so you wanted to know the story. I mean the Manduka. This is about Manduka. And the second one is the Buddha commented about a line of ants crawling on the ground. Yeah, that's actually a very important one. I will. I tried to get the exact reference. We'll get back to you about that. So the Buddha commented about earth dwelling devas. Okay, that is about the Visala when the Buddha was going to um, the city of Vishala, and when he was going out of the city, uh, Vesali city, and along with Venerable Ananda. So this story happens, and he smiled, gentle smiled, and then Venerable Ananda asked, "What is the reason he smiled like that?" And then he said, "Those earthbound devas are descending. They were descending on the new houses." Um, this reference I have to also again get back to you for more information. A stingy father was reborn as a dog. Okay, that is the Todaiya, story of Todaiya. Story of Todaiya. I think it is also the Chulla Kamma Vibhanga Sutta. Chulla Kamma Vibhanga Sutta. Yeah, this story about the karma also. We were discussing in the class. I actually have shown this sutta. Chulla Kamma Vibhanga Sutta is the one. And your next question was, two women fought for many lives. Okay, that is Dhammapada. Dhammapada Nahiverena Verani. That is the, I think, Dhammapada 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stanza number 5. Stanza number 5 of Dhammapada. And this is Yamakavagga, the twins. Yamakavagga. Story of Kali Yakini. Okay, the Pali, it is said, Nahi verena verani sammanti kudachanang averena cha sammanti esa dhammo chanantano. The hatred is never appeased. by hatred alone. Hatred is appeased only by non-hatred. And this is an eternal law. That is the reference for that. And a person simply used his hand to point the direction of for people to the temple and was reborn into heaven. Yes, that's actually ah, um, I don't remember the reference. Yeah, I will try to find that reference too. Next one is two people. One had sympathetic joy about the new temple. Yes, about the heaven, and the other one criticized the dana work. Yes, Anathapindika Jetavana Monastery. This is a story in the Atakathas. So so you want to know the reference to that? Yeah, this is a story like it is said when Anathapindika bought the land, he from Jeta, and then he started building up the temple, and eventually he launched the temple opening ceremony. These two people came, two friends, and I'll also shared with you the reference to that. Whenever Sariputta's head got pounded by a demon while meditating in a jungle. Yeah, yeah, that is okay. That should be the story of Nanda. The demon's name is Nanda. Um, yeah, his name is Nanda. Nanda Yakka. And Venerable Sariputta. I'll give you more details about that too. And then we have one more. Um, some practitioners will fly to a mountain. Okay. Oh, before that, eye surgeon. Oh, no, no. A heretic challenged people to reach a very tall pole. Yeah, that is that story. The name of the story. Okay. I'll get back to you there. Deva illuminated the monastery and asked the Buddha about the auspicious. That is Mangala Sutta. That is called Mangala Sutta. 38 Mangala factors. Jetavanang Kevala Kappan Jetavanang Obhaseta, illuminating, having illuminated the entire Jetavana monastery. He landed, and then he preached he asked the question from the Buddha about this. And you also asked about the eye surgeon suffered a 500 births to be blind person. That is in Dhammapada Chakkupala, first one. Dhammapada Chakkupala story. And this is stanza number 1, very first. Yamakawaka. Some saints would fly to a mountain. Yeah, that is called Isigili. Isi Patana. So Isigili means Ising Gilatiti Isigili. That means it is like swallowing the Isis, saints. When they fly from there, people from outside, they would see like the mountain is swallowing that those isi. So that is called Isigili mountain. And then there is another place in modern day Sarnath, what we call Isipatana. Isipatana Migadaya, where the Buddha preached his first Dhamma sermon. That is called Isipatana. Isipatana means falling of the saints. It's like it's not the meaning is different. Falling is like they were coming from landing at the Isipatana, that place for their food, alms food. They were coming from the mountain Himalayas. They were airborne and land in there. It's like the airport. So that is it is called Isipatana. I think that is um the oldest airport in the world in the recorded history, Isipatana. Only a privileged people had the opportunity to have a look, use that airport. And you have another question here. Some practitioners, okay. The Buddha said it is dangerous to catch the snake by wrong. Okay. Yeah, this sutta is called, I think it is the Aganya Sutta. Yeah. In that Aganya Sutta is a very, very important sutta. There is another sutta, like he was comparing the Dhamma to the snake, and also he was comparing the Dhamma to a rafter, like a boat. That is called Kullupama. Okay. Kullupamango bhikkave dhammang desissami nittaranatayano gahanataya. Monks, I preach the Dhamma as a raft. That Dhamma is, this rafter is used only to cross the river, not to carry away on your shoulders. And once you cross, you leave that also behind. So Dhamma also is just like that. And if you also use the Dhamma, catch the Dhamma in the wrong side, it will be like a snake. Let me go to that. I will quickly find. Yeah, this is Sutta Pitaka. Kullopamango bhikkave dhamman desissami nittaranataya no bhanataya. In this sutta, the same thing. Vessel of the Dhamma. Mula Pariyaya Sutta. Okay, this one is in Majjhima Nikaya. Okay, this one is in Majjhima Nikaya. Majjhima Nikaya first sutta. Majjhima Nikaya Mula Pannasaka first sutta. Yeah, we do have that. Let me share that link that I found here. And then Lisa had another question. The Buddha said it is, yeah. A pig butcher by the Buddha's temple dying and was crying like a pig, yes. And that is called Chunda Sukarika. His name is called Chunda Sukarika. Chundas Sukara is pig. Sukara means pig. So this his name was actually Chunda, and because he was a butcher, and he was also called Chunda Sukarika. He was um, killing many pigs uh, in his slaughterhouse, and it is said like the monks heard many a times like they were he was killing, and then those pigs were crying, and finally when the monks heard like for 1 week the pigs were crying, the monks were talking about that, oh, there is a party going on in Chunda Sukarika's place. The Buddha said it's not a party, actually it's his last days, that he himself was crying like a pig in his last days. Interesting story. Okay, let's go to the other one. Where is come? Okay, Bimbis. The person killed 999 people became an arahant later. Um, oh no, before that, the person who pushed the rock made the Buddha bleed. The person actually had been mad at the Buddhas for many lives. I think he is a famous Devadatta. Yeah, his name is Devadatta. He is also the Buddha's cousin brother. And Yasodhara, uh, her brother, I guess. He's also Yasodhara's brother, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, very closely connected to Yasodhara. And those connections can also make him more affiliated or kind of trying to claim the title, of the Buddhahood, and also like he wanted to focus more and maybe talking more about those things. And he had many issues with the Buddha all the time. And the other story, where Bimbisara's, okay, the person who killed 999, that is Angulimala. Angulimala. Angulimala story. This is where he was earlier called, originally his name was Ahinsaka. Ahinsaka means innocent. And this guy, he was so innocent, but the jealous students in his class, they were using Pisuna Vacha. Okay, Pisuna Vacha, the slandering against him. And they broke the beautiful relationship between this favorite Ahinsaka and the teacher. So they were the people who actually broke that. Yes, Yasodhara was the wife of Prince Siddhartha, and Devadatta was related to Yasodhara. Um, Yasodhara, I guess he's the brother. That's why cousin brother. Devadatta. Yeah, Devadatta has many interesting stories. And yeah, I will find more. I should confirm. Okay, I will text you in the Slack. It for now I remember him as brother, but I will get back to you about that. Okay, where is karma stored? It's like the mango tree that the karma will come in its fruition. Or before that, Bimbisara's son killed him at the advice of someone, that is Devadatta. Otherwise, the son could become Sotapanna. Okay, that is Devadatta. And where is karma stored? It's like a mango. This is in Milinda Panya. King Milinda was the one who asked the question, where is this karma stored? And then Venerable Nagasena, he did not ask the question, answer the question. Instead, he questioned him back. What is this tree? He said, yeah, this is a mango tree. Oh, what do you see now? You can see the fruits. Yeah, the mango fruits are there. And then he asked, where is that mango tree, mango fruit stored when it is not there? Is it in the bark? Is it in the root? Is it in the leaf? Where? And then the king was asking, it's nowhere. It is the right condition. It is the weather. It is the, everything. When the conditions are right, the fruition will take place. And it is not the mango fruit is not hidden anywhere before that. Interesting. So that's about Milinda Nagasena. I tell you, it's a beautiful book, and you must read that book. There will be questions, so many questions answered to so many of your questions too. You will get answers to many of your questions in Milinda Panya. And King Bimbisara was told by the Buddha to transfer his merits to his ancestors. Yeah, when Buddha visited Rajagaha or Rajgir, where Bimbisara was ruling, and he offered the monastery, a temple to him that is called Velu Vana Rama, or also called Venuvana. Some even call Venuvana. So that is bamboo grove. Um, so that is the first ever temple offered to the Buddha by King Bimbisara. Okay, King Bimbisara offered this temple to the Buddha, and that time, for so many eons, those relatives of him, some eons ago, they were waiting for someone to help them come out of their miserable place. And then they appeared him to him in the dream. And then King Buddha said, yeah, the book is King Milinda Panya. Um, that is the book. You mean the questions of King Milinda? That is called Milinda Panya. Let me also share you. Milinda Panya over here. Questions of King Milinda. Okay, let me share with you. Questions of Milinda Panya. So Bimbisara's relatives could not receive merit from anyone. Only Bimbisara was there, and they were waiting. And even if he was a king, they still couldn't do anything. Only after meeting the Buddha, they could approach him, because he didn't know about those things. And then that is why he had the nightmare. And then he went to the Buddha asking for guidance, and then the Buddha guided him to transfer merit to them. And that's why they also became happy after that. Okay, and your next question is, Venerable Moggallana interviewed the hell beings and heaven beings. Yeah, this is in Katavattu and Petavattu and Vimanavattu. So Petavattu is a stories about Petas. Okay, in Khuddaka Nikaya. And the other one is very interesting stories again here. Vimanavattu is stories about Devas. And remember, these are not like very, um, mostly these are like maybe earthbound Devas, or maybe Devas in the next realm. Mostly they have done some simple good karma. Okay, some good simple karma. But they are really interesting. Like when they practice some dana, sila, bhavana, and because of that they became devas. And also like the petas, some of the hell beings you cannot even reach. They are so busy being punished. You don't have time to interview them. They are in the utter bliss, I mean darkness, abysmal darkness, and it's very difficult for them to come out. And some of the petas, maybe like close to this human realm, there are certain petas. So Venerable Moggallana actually uh, had some interesting discussions with them. And Venerable, one person is incredibly happy to see that the Prince Siddhartha will become a Buddha. Okay, that is uh, called Asita or Kala Devala. He he was an ascetic. He was also the kind of counselor, religious counselor, spiritual teacher of King Suddhodana. So when Prince Siddhartha was born, he came from his meditation. It is said he was meditating he can go anywhere and meditate in the mountains, high mountains and all. So he came here to see the prince, and when he saw, King Suddhodana actually wanted Prince Siddhartha to pay respect to his teacher. Instead, what happened? His feet was touching the head of Asita, and then he was shocked. He was such a powerful ascetic. And then he looked into his future, and he saw he is not a simple little boy. He is much powerful than that. And then he was so happy that this person would become a Buddha one day. This also um, highlights that they already know about the Buddha. Even these these sadhus, they already know about the Buddha. There is a person called Buddha. They knew that, and then he was happy because this person would become a monk, a Buddha. But he was sad because he would not be able to live that long. He would die before that. Unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, he achieved a jhana like arupa jhana, no rupa. So he cannot come back to listen to the Dhamma. That's another interesting thing, because some of those ascetics um, who were really desiring for the arupa jhana, they were not interested in the form rupa, no interested in the rupa, no desire for rupa. So that is immaterial realms they are born, and there it is said, and they don't have the capacity to listen to the Dhamma also. That's what happened to Kaladevala, Uddakarama too, right? They also could not come back to listen to the Dhamma. Interesting again. Queen Mallika was in hell for 7 days. Yes. So it is said Queen Mallika. Okay, Queen Mallika is the Queen Mallika of King Kosala. She gave a dana called Asadisa Mahadana. Asadisa Mahadana, it is said like 500 monks were offered uh, and an excellent dana, like unparalleled to any other dana. Such an important dana called Asadisa Mahadana, and all those 500 monks, all of them are Arahant monks, and the kind of dana she gave was called Asadisa Mahadana, and a very powerful good karma. But again, it is still not a Garuka karma, that can help you from falling into hell. So she had a wrong thought at the last minute, and Chuti Chitta, okay, Chuti Chitta, oh, it is Chitta. So Chuti Chitta was spoilt a little bit. Even King Asoka had the same. They said he was born as a python uh, for some days, it is said. Yeah, things like that. Interesting. Karma. Buddha had a meeting with 500 arahants. They all assembled in Himalaya. The Buddha asked him about their own samsara. Yeah, that's in Nagita Apadana. Nagita. This is about the Katina ceremonies. This is in Apadana Pali. Sorry, this thing. Nagita Apadana. So Venerable Nagita said 90 years ago he offered a Katina Dana, and ever since he was never born in the hell realm, always born in the heavenly realm, always in good families, well-to-do families, rich families, and leaders, rulers. He was, even among devas, he was a powerful deva, and all because of that good karma he did, called Katinadana. So mostly in traditional Katina ceremonies, Katina robe offering, uh, it is said a very powerful good karma to again. It might not happen to everyone, okay? uh, and it's not 90 years, it is 90 eons. A Brahmin already achieved jhanic state and lost it because he was so attached to arupa. Yeah, this is, I think, we were discussing about. Um, there is another story, I would say. Uh, One time a monk already in jhana and he was flying in the sky, okay? And then he saw some beautiful women, maybe some women, a group of women. They were working in the paddy field and singing. They were singing. And what happened to this monk? He, he heard those singing, and suddenly the kilesa, the defilement, popped up into him. And it is said like he fell on the earth again, on the ground. He could not fly anymore because he lost his mental capacity, that jhanic status. And so he lost his jhana, and he descended on the land without having any power to, you know, go back in the air. It's like deflated tire for him. So jhana is, that's why jhana, like jhana vasita, okay, like you have to really, you should be able to, uh, you should be able to get out of this. I mean, able to control everything, whatever you want to say. Like jhana, also you should be able to go to jhana whenever you want and come out of jhana whenever you want, live as long as you want. So that is called jhana vasita. Some people, they have it, but they don't have the capacity to sustain that. So that's also very important in jhana. Otherwise, you might, even Devadatta had that. Okay. I think with that, it is time for us to conclude in the morning section, and we'll come back after lunch. And I would like to also answer some of these questions, and also maybe discuss a little more if possible. But I would like to give more opportunity to Dr. Jacobs, and in between we can discuss more. Okay. Right. Thank you again, and wish you all the very best. Hope all of you get A. And may you all be well, happy, and healthy. May you be safe, and may you be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. And thank you again. And it's really a pleasure to be in this class, and really happy to see you all, and very, very impressed with all of your performance and all of your active participation in the class. I would like to conclude with a short chanting. Let us also pray for India and all the people around the world who are suffering due to this new coronavirus wave. May all the people who are suffering due to coronavirus or any other disease in the world be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. May they all be well, happy, and healthy and safe wherever they are. May all of us be well and happy and healthy. May all of you be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. May all of you and your family members, near and dear ones, be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. Always be close to the true Dhamma, and always be associated with wonderful Kalyana Mitra friends. So whenever we are out of the track, we can get back to the right path. May all of us have that Sammaditthi, right view. May all of us be able to live our life peacefully, comfortably, and with good health. May all of us be able to achieve the absolute peace and happiness, the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Thinking that, please say sa sa sadhu. Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasato mate bhavattu antarayo sukhe digayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te sadhu Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, everyone.